All right, and we are back. We are watching the France versus Austria game. This is the co-ed cloth division here at the 2022 Dodgeball World Championships here at the Saville Center in Edmonton, Alberta. My name is Kendall Stelmack. I'm going to be trying to give you as much commentary as possible, although cloth is a newer form to me, so I'm not 100% on the rules. I will try to do my best job possible. Coming up now, we do see that the score has not been flipped over from the last game, so please disregard that when you do look at the referee. We have France on your left-hand side of the screen, and Austria is going to be on your right-hand side of the screen. All right, we see Sweden coming, or Austria, pardon me. The block by number 10, Lettinger, on the Swedish side. Looks like they only have one player left now on the France side. Again, this is the mixed division, so it is a men's and women's co-ed cloth dodgeball. That was a beautiful shot by number 18, Dupuis, on the side. Unfortunately, none of those shots connected. Another shot by her as well. Rushing up to the line, going for the catch. Looks like that shot by number 9, Weber, on the Austrian team does take her out. All right, so we're just going to be resetting that up again.
I am ever so sorry, Kendall. I believe Ben is dead from dodgeball.
Oh, no.
That's why.
It's one of the risks that you have to take, but thank you very much, Matt Larry, for joining me during this commentary. Like I said, this is a newer format to me, so...
Why did you just call me Matt?
Because I haven't had a lot of sleep, and we just put in a coffee order, so...
Oh, what? Oh. Why was I not in this order? Because Matt's got the coffee, is that probably why?
Yes, yeah, Matt is the one bringing me the coffee, which is why his name is etched into my heart right now. But I am actually being joined by Greg.
Exactly. And we've got Austria against France here. Obviously, one set gone already.
Oh, going for that catch, but not quite making it. Oh, you get beautiful dive for that catch, though.
Yeah, ran that powerful arm down the wing. Just pops up. Unfortunately, can't quite get hands on it.
It looks like that one was a hit.
And Katy Weber is hit out on that, but yeah. Stefan is an unreal dodgeball player. One of the true powerhouses of cloth. He's certainly been at the top of cloth for a very long time.
Yeah. So you have a lot of experience with the cloth division. So which players should we be looking out for on the stream right now?
Well, Lisa that's just probably headed out there. A great toe shot from the French side. Lisa Lightfried just hit out there. A huge arm in terms of the women's side, and certainly doesn't look out of place in mixed.
Ooh, and that's also the second time now we've had a ball come into the commentary corner and almost take out the TV that we have. All right, looks like that was the end of the set, so that is going to be 4 points, pardon me, now for the side of Austria, and France does not have any points yet. We are only in the first half of the first set. I believe we still have 15 minutes left on the game clock.
But yeah, other players to look out for. Stefan lighting up.
He looked...
like I was saying, he's probably been at the top. Him, Brett Koenig, and Adam Hill, who's recently joined the fray at the top of the European scene.
So there's a lot of young players on a lot of these teams, as well as a lot of more well-versed players. How do you feel about the fact that some people who are like under the age of 18 are playing at the World Division?
We have it at 16. A lot of these French girls and the Italian girls, 16, they have a lot of junior backing in these two countries. We have a lot of junior sort of in England as well. And in a couple of years' time, we've got Imi out here who's just turned 17, I believe. I might be wrong on that one, and someone might have to correct me. But she is a very young player as well. A great dodgeballer. Probably one of the better females that we actually have in England.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah. All right, so we have Sweden here. They have 4 balls now, so they're going to be going into that zone to try and throw at the French team. Looks like they were trying to go for a catch, and no dice.
Yeah. It's that French play style. They like to jump around and dodge out the way. They're very acrobatic in terms of going for that ball that's been popped up. That's probably the biggest rule change that we have here, that you're still a live player while that ball is in the air.
So we just saw on the stream cloth women's, and some of these women players are on the mixed team as well for France. So how do you think that's going to fare for France, knowing that they've just played 2 games in a row back to back, and they've been playing games all day, and they've been playing relatively hardcore all day as well?
I mean, some of these girls, they're incredibly, they've got very good physical prowess.
Yes.
They certainly haven't. Yeah, exactly that. They definitely haven't been on what we call the 5-ball diet back home, and that is normally like after a tournament you just pig out on like McDonald's or like just junk food, and we call it the 5-ball diet because it's great, especially if you've burnt a lot of calories in the day. It's so. Cloth is one of those ones, and that looks like a bad dodge. It looks like a head goes into the ground, but not quite.
So 4 players now for the French team. Oh, pardon me, 5 players now. So it looks like one of the players on the French side was eliminated. We do have 5 players as well on the Swedish side. Austrian. I don't know why I want to say that. It's just their jersey colors look very similar to the Swedish flag for some reason to me, because it's a white and red flag, and I'm not sure what the Austrian one looks like.
The Norway flag. What did you say? The Swedish flag.
I need to study more geography tonight. Okay. I am going to hop onto Wikipedia. So I apologize.
Austria's flag is red and white.
Okay.
That ball pops up and Schmidt picks it up. Great awareness. Yes. High leap into the ground. A save and a catch, obviously, under this rule set.
Yeah, same difference, or same in foam as well. And a pop fly like that, too. So not only does it eliminate a player on the French side, it saves the player on the Austrian side, and then it revives another player on that Austrian side as well. So that is the golden catch.
Indeed, indeed. Right, so the Austria kit that you do see, this red and white one, they have another one as well. I believe they have 3 kits. I'm not sure if we'll see the third one. I know they've definitely got a white kit, and I'm sure at one point they had a gold kit.
And kit, that is their uniform?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, uniforms, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I haven't watched... I do watch some like British television shows, so I am slowly starting to learn the terminology the more that we chat with each other.
Yeah.
So I am understanding
I think we were talking a bit about it earlier. We need to get some, I think me, you, Peter,
yes.
We need to talk about, I think, some slang words that are across the board, because I think they're very different.
Yeah, we should get, so we have a lot of commentators joining us from all over the globe. We have Phil. He is from Australia.
Sorry, Phil, not Peter. Sorry.
Yes, okay.
Peter is the other dodgeball dude.
Well, that was your turn this time to mess up.
Yeah, okay.
Woohoo! All right. Yes, we have Australian. We have someone from the United States. We've got the Canadian, myself. We have commentators from all over the globe. So we need to do a sit down with Phil, who is behind Dodgeball Dudes, and work out some of that terminology and just kind of go back and forth. I've been interested to see too, like I've seen a lot of the trend on TikTok going around right now where they ask players from outside of the country to pronounce Canadian provinces and cities.
Indeed, and I think it's one of those things that the main one that we won't mention, but the former name of a ball retriever.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the one I find the weirdest.
I am not sure how that
I don't even
turned
know
into
how it come out. I think it's an Australian thing. I think that is the origin of it.
possibly. I don't know
Yeah.
how it traveled all the way up to
Yeah.
Canada because it's a very common term
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Canada
everyone
to
uses
refer
it.
to a ball retriever as a certain intimate act between two
Exactly.
consenting adults. That's the most nice way to put that there and leave it up to the crowd's interpretation. All right, so we do have Austria. Oh!
Rana with the rebound catch on that.
That was beautiful. And such a lot of the throws coming from the Austrian players as well. Like, I don't know what they put in the water there, but they are huge. Like, they can get a lot of swing off of that ball.
I was talking a little about sort of in reference to throwing as well. That outside of Europe, you see that underarm windmill throw, and that comes from softball. See a lot of European teams, either we've been playing dodgeball for so long, so that over the arm throw is drilled into us, or it comes from handball, which is a throw-in sport in somewhat similar action style of whipping that throw.
Yeah, we do have handball here in Canada, but it's not as popular as some of those other sports like basketball, baseball.
We see a lot of volleyball, and that's somewhat
Yes.
of a it's got a lot of skills can transition from over.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of recreational players that sometimes play volleyball, and then they eventually transition into dodgeball. Great catch by the French player there. Unfortunately, that was a line out with the side of his foot. That was number 13 on the French team.
And so close to that line there. He does end up touching it. Buda is hit out, though, from that single ball back of court from Dupuis. So you'll see a lot of fingers strapped up. It's sort of it's not to aid catching at all. That's completely banned under the rule set. It's normally because they've either broken a finger or sprained a finger.
Yeah.
And it's tapped to a stronger finger just to make sure that you don't reoccur that.
We do a lot of that as well in our Canadian leagues, like even with the foam, where you see a lot of finger tape because a lot of breaks and sprains and stuff can happen. I think that's one of, if not the most common injury in dodgeball, is breaking a finger. It's almost like a badge of honor. Like, you're part of the club. Once you've broken your finger, you're a real dodgeball player.
I have never broken a finger, touch wood,
Knock on
but
wood.
I certainly have sprained both thumbs.
Yeah.
I've torn ligaments in my thumb, and that is not nice. My right thumb doesn't bend further than that back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't play at the competitive level with dodgeball here in Canada. I am actually a retired roller derby athlete, so I've broken enough bones playing that to know my limits in this sport.
Yeah.
Even though the healthcare in Canada is
so
free,
dodgeball
I
is
don't
calm
want to
to you.
test it.
Dodgeball is calm to you.
Yeah, it's very calm.
Yeah.
It's a lot less physical contact.
Yeah.
The good thing is, though, even if I were to get injured here, it is Canada, so healthcare is free.
Okay, that's
very
fine.
Similar
then.
to the NHS that you guys have.
Yeah. The fakes come in. The ball pops up. Dupuis catches it.
That was a beautiful catch. Like, I think a little bit confusion on the court. They weren't quite understanding what was going on there, but I think the refs are calling it a catch.
Yeah, the catch. I think one of the French players thinks that he got saved from that.
Yeah. I think there might have been a catch as well as another hit, so I think that's where the confusion may have ended up. All right, so we're going to see here a call being made that the ball needs to go over to the Austrian side. So Austria is going to have that ball. They do have the advantage right now. They knew who their target was going to be on that throw when Austria threw. That was a huge jump by Schmidt.
Yeah, huge jump from Schmidt there. The elevation, the gazelle-like leap.
Yeah. I can't think of a better word for it. Oh.
And takes the catch with the ball in hands.
Like, doesn't even break his stride. Like, yeah, that's my ball now. Like, done. Like, that was Amazing. I'm guessing that Austria is a very foam-centric country in terms of their play style. Like, cloth.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the coffee order to show up, folks. Bear with us.
Their foam team this time around is made up of either ex-cloth players that don't have like retired from international duty, or sort of people that casually play dodgeball and don't mind throwing a foam ball about. So it's definitely not the strongest foam squad, but they're here to have a good time, and they've got nothing to lose for that.
So in terms of cloth, Austria is more predominantly cloth country.
Yeah, they play no foam.
Okay.
The foam team have literally had 2 months playing foam. Yeah.
Looks like that was a trade-off there on the teams.
Yeah. Nice 1-for-1.
Yeah, we got to give it up to those ball retrievers though. Like, we've had so many stray balls like all day, and just the amount of like climbing, ducking, dodging, everything they have to do that's stereotypical from that horrible movie that came out years ago. They have been doing it, and we got to give hats off to them.
And that's a slight rule change that, you know, if you've not watched a lot of cloth, that has come in. We actually have 3 ball retrievers. Normally, 2. 2 is the norm of European rule set.
Okay.
So obviously playing 40 minutes and running around is going to get pretty tiring. So 3, obviously, you then just separate them around the court a lot easier.
And strategically, it does make a lot of sense too, because you do have those 3 sides on your end of the court. So having one person on each side then maximizes the amount of ball retrieving that can be done without physical exerting.
Exactly. We're in a big hall.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we have seen some balls.
She takes that catch, but the ball does get popped up, and Buda gets hit by the single. 2 very experienced dodgeballers left for the side of Austria. But Kremser is hit out. Doesn't quite make the trade off, and now it's Schmidt left in. A 1v2. Ball pops up. Ball comes in just shy of the invalid, but it is a valid ball. It's within that 1 meter. Schmidt goes low, gets the block.
Ref's making a call that, yes, it did hit the knee, so they're like, yep, thank you very much, referee. Place the ball down and walk away. Oh, just about to get my second win. I've got a lovely iced coffee here. So I got it from McDonald's. Is there like a slang word for McDonald's in the UK?
No, it's called McDonald's. Okay. Mackey's.
Okay.
Yeah, you call it Maccas, right? No, that's the Aussies. They call it Maccas, right?
In Canada, we call it Rotten Ronnies.
A what?
So Ronald McDonald is the mascot, and there's a lot of jokes about how the food is questionable because it's fast food and it's made very cheaply and it's affordable. So,
hey, there goes the future sponsorship of McDonald's.
Oh, shoot. That's just a Canadian thing. So please don't take that too hard. McDonald's Europe.
The single from Hackle, that right side, takes out Facade. And a slight confusion on who was releasing the balls there. A 2-ball release comes in. A weird 2 balls get released. We don't see that a lot. Both balls 1 and 3 got released.
All right, so we're going to take a look here again. We've got 3 players left on the side of Austria. We have 1 player left for Team France at the moment. Oh, 4 players for Team Austria.
Some great fakes from Austria. You see those fakes all coming in together.
So in terms of ball control, What does the member of Team France want to do to make sure that they get the most out of their throws and make sure that they, oh, that was a hit.
Say that again.
So in terms of like being the last player on the court in the cloth division, when you are like, there's a lot of balls that can come for you, but it's a little bit harder to hold the cloth balls compared to some of the foam balls.
Yeah,
so
you're really only hiding behind one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does that, like, in terms of vulnerability for the player, like how does that change up strategy?
What you're looking for, and it's all dependent on sort of strategy and the result in the game. Obviously, if you're up and you're the last player, you're looking at really just dodging out the way of everything. You want to drain the opponent's energy. You really want to just take your time in that. Obviously, if you're down and you want to be looking for that, it's looking for that single ball catch, reading the team and going, okay, what ball is getting released maybe slightly earlier or slightly later, and I can try and pick that out. The catch, obviously, the saying catches win matches, certainly something that is ingrained in all of these players' heads.
Absolutely. Definitely need a lot. You need probably really good peripheral vision for this cloth game, especially with those cross-court shots when you are the last one on for that throwing.
And the ball sort of comes in, and it's probably not at a quicker pace. I'd probably say a foam ball can be thrown faster, but I'd say it's definitely a lot more true to its throw in terms of where you are throwing it. It will often stay in that trajectory.
Absolutely.
With foam, the ball, it can be manipulated a lot more.
Absolutely. The cloth ball, it keeps its shape much better than the foam ball does, because the foam is just it's rubber and it's foam. The cloth ball has to be inflated. It's got a harder outside, so like you said, it does fly a bit truer because it is a lot harder to misshape those balls in regular gameplay. Because compared to foam, a lot of players will squeeze the balls, and then that starts to deteriorate the ball even faster. I will say, though, the cloth balls are very hard to hang on to.
Yeah, we spoke a little about it earlier. There's so many different play styles and ways of holding it. Mm-hmm. The popular one, maybe it used to be the popular one. It's somewhat changing as grips develop and you get more grip strength. But you hold it sort of in your hand and your wrists, and then you kind of sling it out instead.
Okay. So we have something here. Someone is asking us about what was formerly known as a suicide throw, but now we're calling it leap of faith.
We call it the leap of faith now, yeah.
It sounds a bit better. So what is the rule on a leap of faith by jumping over the line to hit someone, and the throw is safe if they hit someone?
So the slight different in terms of what we've seen under the European rule set. A leap of faith, normally you can put as many players out on a leap of faith as possible. Under the world rule set, only one player at a time. You have to make sure you jump before that neutral zone line.
Yes. So the neutral zone line
is the two ones. Orange, yeah, the two red, orange, yeah.
Kind of like a burnt umber, maybe.
Yeah, into full depth of color. Yes. Yeah. As long as you jump before that, you're a live player, so you can be hit in the air as you go towards them.
Yes. Are you still live if you're hit?
Yes. So if you jump in the air, you make a successful hit. You are still a live player, so you can be hit on their side.
Mm-hmm. So if you were to jump up and throw, and you get hit while you're in midair, you need to be that ball needs to hit the ground in order for you to be out. So if your hit connects with someone first, you're in that leap of faith throw.
Yeah, so the rule set, obviously, that is the other rule set that has changed.
Okay.
That normally when you're hit, you're a dead player until that catch is made.
Okay.
Here in WDBF, you are a live player until that ball becomes dead.
Yes.
So obviously, if you are hit midair, that ball can still be released from you, as long as you make a successful hit. You then wouldn't be a live player that would be able to return back to your side, but the hit would still count.
Yeah, so if you didn't get hit and you made a successful leap of faith throw, then you exit the court on the opposite team's side. You kind of come back to your side and you
you stay on court.
Oh, so you just go back to your spot on the court. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was an exit there.
No,
I do apologize.
so I think someone else said that as well. I think
yeah,
that was,
I think
no,
that,
you
that
fully stay on court, so you have to track back almost sort of in the no man's land area. You're probably not going to have a ball in your hand, because if you carry a second ball, you're then kind of
forced to give it to the opposite team.
Yeah.
So going into the second half, we've got about 20 minutes on the clock. We're just getting ready for the teams to line up. We see that Austria has 2 points and France has 16 points right now. So France is currently winning.
No, other way around. I think they haven't changed it yet.
Oh.
Yeah. That makes sense. Austria played a very good game.
Yeah,
Austria played a very good game. They've been very dominant. We know what they're like in terms of their cloth prowess. They've been at the top for several years. Their women unbeaten since 2016 in European dodgeball.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing to see.
Very high up there in terms of been at the top for a very long time. In terms of the other world tournaments that we've had in the past, the 2018 World Cup was actually won by England women's.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, congratulations on that one.
Huh?
Congratulations on hosting that tournament.
No, that was in New York.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. So that was the under the Other World organization, but we're now under the WDBF. And it's a lot safer here.
Yes. How do you like it in the WDBF right now?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah?
Everyone, I mean...
even though we're a bunch of foam heads?
No, not yet.
Okay.
It's certainly creeping into England a lot more.
Yeah.
We now have like a foam series that we play. So we have like 5 or 6 tournaments throughout the year. And depending on where you finish in those tournaments, you get like points, and they add up to sort of a leaderboard at the end of it. The winner of that then wins the Foam Open Series.
All right, so we're going to start in that second half right now. So it's really interesting to see, like, one of the differences between the cloth and foam is the referees will line up on the activation line, but because there's no actual activation line in cloth, we just have the neutral zone, or we just have the center line. Refs will stay on that center line for that opening rush.
Normally that the activation line that we have is normally judged by the line ref. So the line refs that you see at that line will normally judge if a ball is live or not.
Okay.
So that's where they're positioned. One is on back line. One is on the orange line on an activation line.
Okay, so that second red line there that we're seeing on the court on the stream, that is the activation line, and technically for the opening rush.
Yeah.
Okay, so the balls go back a lot farther than they do in foam. Ooh, a beautiful, I thought that was a block, but it was done so beautifully by number 12 on the French team that I didn't even notice it was a hit. It's a lot of athleticism on both sides of these teams, and they are doing amazingly well. Again, Austria with 16 points right now, so we're in the first set of the second half.
So as we start creeping into our second half, we're going to be looking closer into the Beercade Player of the Match. And for the mixed divisions, I believe we're voting one male and one female.
Yes. So we're going to be voting on those shortly. We're going to be getting those together for you, and then make sure to vote in the chat. They're going to get an interview later on the stream at the end of the game, and a $10 gift certificate to our official sponsor of the after party, the Beercade, which is located on White Avenue in downtown Edmonton, which is the host city for the 2022 International Dodgeball Championships.
There we go. Beautifully said. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
One, because I'm a massive nerd that loves video games, and two, I like
All right. Well,
alcoholic beverages.
I was there for
Nash. Game against France.
Ooh. And that was a beautiful move by number 54.
It's somewhat of a European play style, that ball that's clambering towards you, you pick it up and it's a quick release, that chest pass.
Yeah.
You know, one, it's going to be accurate because it's where you're throwing. And two,
yeah.
you can put a bit of power behind it.
Well, yeah, just the thought in general, like it adds, I guess, that psychological game where it's just, you know, oh my God, there's a ball coming towards me, so you might second guess or hesitate on that throw that you're going to make if you are the opposing team member. So I think it was a brilliant move.
Yeah, and that's a nice single ball from Katy Weber there on the Austrian wing.
All right, so we'll see more. So we'll see now that there are 2 players left on the French side. They have 4 balls each. So I'm guessing they're not going to be holding 2 balls as they go up there, but they are going to retreat and grab those other 2 balls as they are hiding behind that other line, because Austria is now going to have the burden to throw, as the refs are going to indicate. We see one counting it down right now. Fake from the Austrian side and a disarm throw from Austria onto France. We still have number 12 left on Team France. She's been the last one on for a while now.
Every tournament I ever see her playing, she's always last in. She's so nimble and agile. You see what I mean? She throws that ball and exactly that. Unfortunately, this time can't get out of the way of the 3 Austrian balls that come her way.
But it definitely is an advantage when you have that entire court to yourself. But like these athletes, they have been playing all day. They've been playing multiple games. We're getting close to the end of the first day ourselves. So we're going to see what happens on day 2. And I think a lot of these athletes are going to get back to wherever they're staying and have a good long night's sleep. All right, so we're going to see France right here. France is coming up to the line, making a couple shots. Austria returning fire, sending 2 of their balls over. Austria with just 2 balls now. Oh, pardon me. Austria with just 1 ball. France sending another one over. No hits, no catches made. France coming straight up to the line. France has a really strong lineup right now. They've been making a couple shots towards Austria. They're trying to regroup.
And that's it. You've just got to try and disrupt that play of Austria. They're so strong in terms of aggressive play style.
Mm-hmm.
Block from Ranner, and he on the track back takes the catch from Villin there, the men's captain.
Beautiful catch by number 25 on the Austrian side. So we've talked about Austria and their prowess with cloth. France, are they a cloth country or are they a foam country?
I might be wrong, but I think they had a foam organization.
Okay.
I might be wrong on that. I might be just making that up.
I won't quote you in the court of law.
As far as I'm aware, they have played cloth for a very long time. They've been there, I believe, since the first Euros, which was 2010 in Chester, in England.
All right. So is this so the cloth format is relatively newer to France? So
yeah. So foam is very new to a lot of European countries. The only one it isn't really is Italy, because they've had an Italian squad under the different organisation.
So France is more predominantly cloth as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with this mixed format that we're seeing here, because this is the first time we're seeing this at Worlds. So in terms of like the prowess of these players, I know that you know a lot of them by name. You're seeing a lot of their plays. How do you think they're faring as a co-ed mixed team?
I mean, co-ed mixed and slash co-ed is very new to Worlds. It's been at Euros since, I believe, 2016, 2017. Okay. So it's definitely been in and around Euros for a long time. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more accessible for women to play sort of with men, and that's why we spoke a little on the foam side of things, that the court for women, ladies, is shorter.
Yes.
Not everyone's. I know it's a huge debate that goes on year in, year out.
Well, I think the biggest part of the debate is the fact that the people that made that ruling on the size of the
Were
women's
men.
court were none of them were women.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So I think now we have to like look that if these women play in co-ed and mixed at Worlds and they're throwing from back of the court, then why can't they just do it in their normal game?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we see
a debate for a whole different day.
Yes. So back to this game right now. I think we are seeing here the score is still 2 for France and 22 for Austria right now. So we see France kind of resetting right now. They've got 4 balls now. They're going over the Austrian side to throw right past that neutral line. Sorry, right into that neutral zone. And we see one of the balls actually coming back to the France side. So France eliminating that player. So they still have burden to throw. They have higher lines right now in terms of players. So it's going to be player-based burden. And just taking a look here now, it's going to be Austria's turn to throw. I think they have 3 balls.
So you see that fake, it's in great time in the single ball. Then with a delay throw from Leifried on that bottom left side.
That's a really good strategic move that we see a lot in both Clome and Floam. We're just going to call it that.
Yeah, and that ball pops up. Yet again, same that big rule change from foam to cloth. That ball, if it pops back over to your side and it's hit a player, that will then count as a catch.
Yes.
So that's why,
one of the first things I learned.
Yeah, so Austria are now obviously back to a lineup of 5 instead of 4. And
yes,
Janček just drops that ball that's come at him. And it's always about reading the pace of the person that's throwing at you. That's obviously the big difference.
Beautiful catch by the Austrian player right there. That ball came right over just without breaking their stride. They catch it. That's going to take 2 players out now on the France team. So it's just 1 left for Team France. And unfortunately, no catches made. That is number 19 from Team France.
Yeah, some great timing from Austria there. That double running counter high up the court, nice and wide. It's that running counter that you look for it. Then the balls come at different angles. It's harder to track 2 balls coming from 2 different directions rather than straight on it.
It's really smart. It's almost kind of like a very spearheaded style of attack coming in from both of those corners. Fortunately, France does not get that 3rd ball, so Austria is going to start off again. Austria now leading with 24 points. Have not seen France actually score in a while. This is a very Austria-dominant game.
And that is the thing. They will dominate a lot of teams, not just in Europe, but I can imagine here at Worlds. In terms of Europe and where Dodgeball has been at, like we said, Austria have been unbeaten since 2016. But other teams, Northern Ireland, have now creeped into that mix. Oh, and that's a good catch there. Low takes out Buda there.
That was
Villian there, number 28. Yeah,
that makes that on catch. The French side. It was a beautiful catch. Again, in terms of catching for cloth, like it depends on how fiercely the ball is thrown. But with cloth, like you can just not even break your stride and just have an amazing catch. Like it's not even like a second thought with a lot of these catches that you do see in the cloth division.
I think because, like I was saying, the ball stays so true to its throw. You know as soon as that player is released, if you can track that, you know where that's coming.
Yeah.
Obviously, it then becomes harder the quicker the throw, but and the more balls that are thrown at you.
It's a great shot there by Villain on the French team. It's going to be...
And Austria are hit out in that.
Yeah. Not quite sure what happened there, but it looks like...
I think there was 2 hits. I think both players still thought they had another player left in, so they kind of just casually strolled off court.
Yeah.
But France...
All right. So we are voting for the player of the game right now. I believe we only have 7 minutes left. So get those votes in if you are watching us in the chat right now. And we will give an interview with them and make sure we give them that $10 gift certificate. We also have another couple sponsors that we do want to thank real quickly while we go into this next set. It's FKA Communications and Marketing, Quality Foods, and the Edmonton Transit Service. All right, coming up now, catch, but also a hit right in the throat on number 25 on the Austrian team, and that is Ranner. He definitely had to walk that one off, but it was a very well-made catch, even though he used his throat to do it. Ranner going down, but managing to dodge that ball. He stays in.
The fake comes in, but Buda releases the single. Kremser follows up, but a nice block from Gomez there. That neutral zone providing a lot of aggressive cover. Unfortunately, that's probably why we see a lot more fingers get broken, because of how far up the court you can actually play.
Yeah, we don't really see a lot of throws from the back line here. I think just based on how to throw a cloth ball, it definitely makes sense to have that neutral zone, because I don't think a lot of players would be able to make those cross-court shots or shots at all from the back line based on how that ball is thrown. Beautiful block by the Austrian side there. It looks like the ball retriever has it. They're throwing it back in.
Just a slight
And we're going to see here now that it is 5 minutes, 23 seconds left in the game. France now with 4 points. Austria still leading by 20, however, with 24 points. Bit of simple math that I was able to do there. All right. So we have one player left, number 2 on the French team, Josephine Berthomeu. If I pronounced that wrong, please let me know in the chat. There.
Picks up the ball, and it's not a slow throw from Kremser.
Woo. Right into the table. That woke me up.
With the poll ending and no votes, I think we could vote a player probably from first half alone.
Yep.
Schmidt. Would we like to go for Schmidt, the taller gentleman with the ponytail bum?
I think so. I think that was a very good showing by him earlier in the game. I think he might have earned that. That's up to the chat to vote. So it was pretty even across. So it is up now to us, the commentary team, to give that tie-breaking vote. Everyone showing a lot of love for the players on the court today. So everyone, again, is a winner. Like, you've made it onto a Worlds team. You are here. You're fighting for the championship. You're already a star in my books. So we have the referee just clarifying a call with one of the Austrian players. 4 players now left on the Austrian side.
So what happened there from the catch that Hackle caught, the wrong player stepped on court, so that then means no one comes in for that.
Yeah, that is the same with foam.
Okay.
All right, so.
But France currently up this set by 1 player. And with not long left in this second half, Austria currently up 26-4.
Austria now with 3 players on the court still. France just sending one of those balls over. Beautiful block by number 27, Dubois, on the French team right now. That's going to give 3 balls to the French side, and that is going to be the advantage for Team France. block by the Austrian player. They were going straight for the wing. Number 9 on the Austrian side. Looks like we've got 4 balls now over to Team Austria. And they had their number on number 13. He was immediately removed from play with those throws from Team Austria. Well done, Austria. Beautiful block by Dodgeball on the French team as well. And managing to dodge that second throw at her. Berton being
Yeah, she
hit
goes
out.
for that catch, probably fishing a little outside of her comfort zone.
Berthamew. She is, I believe, one of the younger players for Team France as well. She was just interviewed in the last game as our player of the game, and she's only 17 years old.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that younger players in the European side. I think in foam, you have to be at least 18 years old to play.
Even at like recreational?
Yes.
Really?
I'm speaking specifically for Canada, but it's legally you have to be 18 for insurance purposes.
Interesting.
Otherwise, your premiums go all the way up.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And although it is easier for younger players to heal versus some of the more senior players that have been veterans of the sport when an injury unfortunately does occur.
Yeah. And now we head into a 90-second set. I can imagine both teams will probably have a bit of fun in this.
Beautiful grab of that ball right on the opening rush there by number 27 on the Austrian side. And a catch by the other Austrian player as well. I'm not sure if that was an elimination catch, but just the way that ball popped right up into the air and the Austrian player catching it.
So Buda is obviously saved from that, but then Weber is also brought back in for that catch.
So we're going to see 6 full players now on that Austrian side, down to 4 players for Team France. All right, so it looks like they're going to call it very shortly. That game clock is almost completely run out. So France just calling their play right now.
So it may be a huge defeat for France, but they know they already knew what they were going to be facing. You know, it's not like you haven't played this team before. You've seen them year in, year out at Euros.
Beautiful block by the French player, number 13, Naldijan. Okay.
Yeah. Someone that's been around the Euro scene for a long time.
Okay.
Dupuis heads up and takes out Buda.
You see 5 players now on the French side, and they have 4 balls. Ooh, number 56 getting taken out on the French side. That's Pierre Auger. And that's the end of that one, and that point's going to go to France.
Yeah, they finished the final 90-second set, 4 players to 3.
So that point is going to go to them.
After this game, I'll have a little interview with Schmitz, our Beercade player of the match.
Congratulations to Schmidt.
Exactly.
The players are going to congratulate each other, and we're just going to take a quick look at the schedule before we go into that interview. And it is going to be Austria versus Sweden.
Yep, in the men's cloth.
Yes, so the men's cloth division. So
that's why we saw a couple players maybe taken off from the men's side to rest sort of those arms.
Yeah, they need a break on their arms. So we're going to get to that interview very shortly. Again, thank you very much, Greg, for joining me. My name has been Kendall Stelmack. I'm going to see you again for the next match after this. But it looks like we've got a good one coming up. That was, again, Austria versus France. Austria wins 28-6. And Beercade Player of the Match interview coming up shortly.
So we're back here on the showcased cloth courts. We've got Sweden men against Austria men. We've just seen Austria mixed plays, and some of their men played in that squad. They got rested late on, and they wanted to keep those arms fresh for this game. It's a game we've seen time and time again at Euros, but the first time at the world stage. My name's Greg Whitehouse. I'm joined by
Terry Thrasher. Yeah, what's the head-to-head record, would you guess, for this matchup?
Austria would have taken every game. Yeah. Okay. And that's nothing on Sweden for a long time. For a long time, they still call themselves this. They called themselves the Swedish Spectaculars.
I like it.
For a long time, they were almost a bit of a jokey country that came to Euros. They did dramatic things. They'd fly over the court. They did something called like the pencil drop, and they'd all drop to the ground at the same time. And they were fan favourites, and then they probably started to realise, they were like, hold up, we're starting to take points off teams. What about if we take this serious? And the past 3 Euros, they've climbed and climbed that ladder, you know, in terms of where they're at now. They're still a long way off from Austria, but they've definitely improved so much over, you know, the past 10 years.
That makes sense. I mean, as a Canadian, I'm used to seeing Sweden perform extremely well on the international ice hockey scene. Contribute a lot of like Hall of Fame NHL players, and performed extremely well in the Olympic competitions. So this is my first time seeing Swedish dodgeball at all. I don't think I watched any matches of theirs, unfortunately, in preparation for this either. So exciting stuff.
So their main sort of tactician style player, and the guy that has sort of driven a lot of tactics in and around Sweden, Ben McAdam, used to be under the regime of England. So he was capped under England Lions dodgeball.
Oh.
But, then married a Swedish lady, moved over there, and now has a dual citizenship, but plays for Sweden.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can't always read too much into it, but McAdam, not the most common Swedish name, I would think, as a last name. But you move to the country, you get to represent them on the world stage now. Well done on his part.
They are missing one player. It might have been Tellström, the gentleman earlier, the Swedish guy. He threw his arm so hard he broke his arm.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's not the greatest of injury. Apparently he's torn his bicep and broken his upper arm. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm not sure if this is what happened to him, but I've seen a spiral fracture happen to people when they throw. Often, if they don't follow through across their body, it ends up being something that, unfortunately, the torque, like, you generate so much velocity that your body actually can't take it. So
yeah, McAdam hit out there. He brings that ball forward, and Austria take that first set. They've picked apart Sweden nice and early. They've decided that they're going to start picking away those single balls and take away Sweden one by one, and they've done just that. They take the first 2 set points.
Yeah, they made a catch early. They had some good hits straight away after that. They just looked firmly in control for that first set. Off the rush, Austria electing not to challenge for the middle ball this time. Look at those sideburns.
They're a masterpiece. They are.
All right, we see a 1-for-1, I believe.
Yeah, Sarafic, men's MVP at Euros 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't actually a 1-for-1. It was a 1-for-0. He's able to elude the shot coming in. Okay. And okay, we see some good action as they take out Renner. Sweden with a bit of a player edge.
McAdam high up court, but is taken out.
All right, a cross-court try. Does miss. Saravic was ready, although I don't think it was going to get to him. Johansson gets away from it. Poiser hopping over one. Some good heads-up play here. But they both back off. And sometimes that's the smarter choice. Just walk away.
Yeah. Taking that 1-for-1 is nice, but maybe later on in the game.
Yep. All right, well, we get another one as Grill is hit out, as is Poiser.
Yeah, it's that European play style. It's a lot of aggressive trading, and you're looking to take out the player that's released their ball. So Sarafic has done just that. He takes out Grill after Grill releases the single ball.
That's one of the best times to try and hit someone when they're still stuck in the follow-through from their throw. There's no getting away from the fact that your throws need a follow-through. So if you can time that as a defensive player, that's a huge window. Well, a valuable window. It's often very short. I shouldn't call it a huge window.
Yeah. It's because it's the hardest way. You know, your body is stuck in that position.
Yeah.
All your power has gone through. You're almost still, like you said, for that window of time.
Janusek playing that aggressively. Does get hit out, but does draw out a hit on the other side. Janusek. All right. Well.
Yeah. And Sarafic high up court. He takes out letting up. Florian, of course. Both brothers are in this squad. Both Stefan and Florian. Both great dodgeballers.
Oh, well, tying it up at 2. And okay, this time Austria getting there early. Gets that center ball. Gets the early tempo. Okay. They are able to get Lera. So Sweden coming on a little bit.
And it's that block that you're trying to get nice and low. We call it a defensive block. It's into the ground, so nothing else can be made of it. Unfortunately, this time, just not quite the block he's after.
Oh, Saravic, some nice misdirection, taking out his target, and he's returned upon, but stays in it. Florian Hockel just not able to find the shot he was looking for. Okay, some nice blocking. Never goes. And okay, another one for one.
The 1 for 1 again, and this time Sweden are still up by that one player.
They'll take all the 1 for 1s now, I'm sure. Okay. There's a 1 for 0, though. Okay, no, actually, we've got just one left on the Austrian side again. Okay, beautiful shot.
Yeah. Hoffman may be a little lazy in the dodging style. Thinks he can sort of crane his leg up, just that one leg, and that'll be good enough for him. But unfortunately, the ball comes in too quick.
We call that the misguided flamingo dodge.
Yeah.
It's some well kitted out Swedish fans over on the benches.
They always bring their supporters everywhere they go.
I love it. Okay, so we've got one casualty so far on the Sweden side. Austria obviously going to be looking to take back some momentum for themselves. Saravic, a nice try, but it is blocked. Ooh, that cross court. Did well to see that coming in from McAdam.
And now Austria, they do just single ball release, and Sweden release 2 in the favour. Austria could have been left a little stranded there because Sweden could have had 4, but they decided to throw 2 off that.
Okay, that shot from McAdam connects, and he is connected upon in turn. All right, Johansson. Oh, no, that's Falkenberg hit out. Johansson looked like he might be a target, might throw.
And that ball that is in the neutral zone is highly contested, and that's why when a player is hit out there and they place that ball down, you can almost force a lot of chaotic plays.
That becomes a big opportunity if they were more on your side. You might be able to get the player and earn their ball. Sweden playing quite well. Okay, some nice dodging, nice blocking as well. Okay, the 1 for 1 attempt. Johansson hit out. Sweden down to 2. Serovic crossing up. Okay, they take some return shots. And Serovic falling does get hit. Nice shot. And the referee's just making sure things are clear.
Yeah, just a little mop up of sweat.
Yeah, that's always important. Yeah, these two referees, they are both Canadian players who participated in Canada's cloth program as well. So Brian Waring on the far side on your screen has been a cloth player for something like 15 years. Not a lot of pockets of cloth dodgeball in Canada, but Hamilton, where Brian lives, is one of them. Right, Rana out there trying to bring this back for Austria. Okay, some nice movement.
And Rana high up that court. He's still got the 3 balls, so he will have to play that ball eventually anyway. And it's now the one-on-one. Sarafic against Rana. It does end in the draw.
Yep.
A little confused maybe on why 2 players were called out on that.
Yeah, some things happened on that point that I didn't totally follow, I think, but...
I think there was a line infringement. That is probably the easiest one that had gone. I think where he was so high up court on the player that tombstoned, he trod on the line in that process.
It's interesting, too, because it's something that can easily happen when our attention is totally elsewhere. So you'd be like, wait, I thought Austria had an extra player there, and yeah.
Yep.
But it was 1 point for each side. Sweden still hanging on to a 2-point edge. They're up 5-3.
Yeah, and Sarafic unlucky there. He gets hit out. Unfortunately, there's a player in front of him, so he's almost blindsided by that throw.
We counsel our players so often not to screen each other, just get in the way and give the other team basically 1 ball to try for 2 targets. And okay, that one coming out from Johansson. It pops up. You got 2 balls in the air, which does make that satisfying sound you were talking about earlier today.
And that's it. And although Austria might be down 5-3, you could certainly say, if you've watched Austria time and time again, this probably isn't their favoured starting 6. You may have a couple of people that would peek into that, but some are just taking a rest. It's been a long day for a lot of these players.
Yeah, quite a few of them playing in mixed as well as men's.
Yeah.
That's always a bit of extra strain and stamina asked of you. Okay, that was a catch. That was called. McAdam does bring one. Sorry, that was Freese bringing one in.
But the catch was called on that, and a good catch. It sort of sticks in between him, in between the ball and his body.
It's true. It didn't look like the most controlled thing, but it worked. All right, and so bit of chaotic action here.
The ball comes in from Johannesson, but it goes between his legs.
Yeah. Okay, I think they find him. Yeah, they find his lower body that time. Couldn't jump high enough.
Exactly that.
Johansson allegedly was once so spectacular a fan fainted and needed medical attention, although she is alive and well today. That's what he tells us.
Okay. That may have to get fact-checked across a couple of spectacular registers, I think.
Let's put Snopes on the case.
Yeah.
Austria 3 strong, stepping up. Okay. They find their shot.
Friss, the only player left in now for Sweden, a 1v3. But Hoffman with the block just out wide, just in case that ball decides to sneak into his lion foot.
Okay, we got another ball here over in the commentator's booth, but along the way, Austria does tie things back up. So a nice even match on the scoreboard at this point. Off the rush. It's Sweden this time to that center ball faster.
And what we may see is at the half time, we may see a lot of Austrian players switch it up. You're getting those Austrian players a rest. They've pretty much just been on for the mixed game.
That's a good grab. That ball bouncing in low before it finds its target.
Yeah.
Okay, Fries backing up. McAdam trying to protect, but Fries was able to get hit out. Austria now absorbs that pressure, gets a shot away, taking out McAdam. Sarovic getting low under that ball, and I think he does just get clipped yet by that retaliation shot.
Yeah, and Tellstrom is forced to the back of the court. They decide that they can pose a lot better danger with 4 balls coming up rather than just one being thrown casually.
Yeah, and I like that. It's good discipline and awareness sometimes. Okay, wow, nice outside no-look shot. Does find the mark out of Johansson. All right. It's a nice little high-step fake move. Okay.
Blair has caught a little unaware on that. It's that when your arm is up in that throwing position, sometimes that's when a lot of teams will look for that pre-throw, and it's there just now, and Tellstrom does well.
Yeah. Yeah, closing it out with a hit and a catch.
But up 7-5, Sweden are in this game.
Off the rush, Austria has typically been there a little bit faster to that middle ball. And they are again this time. Okay, they get one hit right away. They get another hit.
And that ball is passed out to Sarovic on the top right of your screen. That wing player.
Sarovic, who retired professional track and field athlete, medical doctor, radiology resident, postdoc in child psychiatry and neurophysiology. Save some accomplishments for the rest of us.
How dare you?
Yeah. I wonder if he has any free time or if he's just like looking to add other impressive things to his bio. Okay, Austria executing well there. And showing some respectful applause to the efforts made by the Swedish side as well. Good sports all around.
Yeah, subs have been made for that Sweden side. Pierre Kovelek makes his way onto the court.
Okay, they get Sarovic on the far side.
That 4 balls come forward, 2 get thrown, and they find the target. Sweden up in this set, but the current scoreline in this whole game is 7 apiece.
Okay, and a graze. See the nice, honest hand up, calling themselves out. As always, we appreciate the integrity. All right, Johansson not managing to turn that into a 1-for-1 this time.
Close to that 1-for-1, but Florian Leitinger is so good at getting low and low quick as well. It's when you're around that neutral zone, it's what you've got to do.
Okay, McAdam with a throw and a retrieving of a ball. We see Ronner hit out on the side. Good pressure from Poyser. All right, Poyser with a nice block. McAdam with the throw. Austria 2 out there still.
Sebastian Grill and Leitinger left in.
Ooh. I'm not sure his target saw that one coming. That didn't look like a very reactive move.
It was the no-look sort of cross-court. They're the ones that catches a lot of cloth players off guard.
Yep, Carlson lucky that one missed instead. Austria to the line, missing high. Carlson letting one go. Drill. Okay, both players letting it go, and a covering shot release. Carlson, though, eludes it, returns and misses.
Yeah. McAdam was hit out by that double ball attack, but now the Austrian two are going to have to face a multiple ball attack.
And they face it well so far. Still 2-on-2. Okay, they get Carlson there.
Yeah. And that's the throw-in that we see time and time again. On target. And nice and drilled, making sure that those balls are coming in at the same time.
All right, nice grab.
And he grabs that ball with two balls in his hand. He gets into that position. He tucks the ball in. He knows where it's coming, and he's read it a mile off.
Yeah, that's often, once you've been playing for a while, you get caught off guard a lot less often. That said, I mean, that's still a tough play to make. So
yeah.
Full marks for the reaction.
So Austria now up.
Oh, we got a bit of false startage there. False starts on both sides, I think they're saying. Well, I'm not sure what the rule is in cloth, actually, for false starts.
I think the referee said one warning, but nothing happens there. We don't have warnings in the cloth.
Right.
Yeah. And a 90-second set will be the final set of the first half.
Yep, so a bit shorter. Points still up for grabs, the same as usual, though.
And a nice...
Okay, those shots missing from Austria. One ball. That one does connect pretty solidly, I'd say. Up in the chest.
That's an aggressive throw from Hackle. He throws right down that chest, because if you're catching someone off guard, then you've got no time to react. Because that's the hardest part that it's going to bounce off.
Oh, and there was a no-look that, I think that might have got the inside of the knee pad. Sometimes hard to feel that, but the ref was looking right over there. Okay, and Falkenberg off.
Yep, places that ball down. It's something that we see in the cloth format. When you're out, you place that ball down, otherwise you'll be receiving a blue card.
Yeah, oh, wow. It's going to be placed down immediately again as Ronners hit out. Sarovic now threatening the middle. Oh, wow, nice dodge attempt by Grill, but Sweden taking that final point.
And a good set for Sweden there. That draws them at the half, but we'll see a couple of subs now come into place.
Yeah, it's mentioned in the Austria team bio. They've got a couple of throwers, Jacob Lara and Max Mates, capable of throwing it around 110 kilometers an hour with these balls. Pretty good pace.
Very good pace.
This is where my judgment is just poor, because I know I can throw a foam ball at about 125 kilometers an hour, but like, it's lighter.
We were saying this earlier in the foam format. The balls fly so much quicker, and a dodge is almost a preemptive movement rather than a reactive movement. In the cloth, you're sort of trying to read where that ball's going to head as it's released.
That's just it. Like, some of the top foam throwers can comfortably clear 130. I think there are some who've cleared 140. But again, it's a different ball. It's lighter. If you can get that same sort of power behind it, you'd expect it to move faster. The cloth ball, they're releasing it from so much closer, potentially, that if you have somebody throwing it at, like, over 100 kilometers an hour, like, that's incredibly intimidating. Totally different styles of dodgeball sometimes.
And it's nice to see them side by side.
Yeah. Got my first kind of really good look at in-person high-level cloth dodgeball here today. So that's not exactly true. I did see a Canada versus USA kind of show match a little bit before COVID erupted. But again, I think those were good teams, but it's not the same as watching like Austria when they send out their best, for example.
Yeah.
So I am hoping to see some of this elite cloth play. As you said, I wouldn't be surprised if Austria rolls out some of their stronger players now. I'm sure they're going to want to put the match away.
Yeah, and you can already see that just by a couple of players warming up in the halftime. You know, a lot of the stronger players will always like to ball retrieve if they're not playing, for the sole reason is you're kept warm even, so you're not just standing on the sideline.
Yes. That is definitely one of the, like, when you're doing the ball retrieval duty, you sometimes get your heart rate higher than when you're playing, depending on how things shake down, but it is a great way to stay moving, staying warm. You see mates in there for, I believe, the first time in this match, doing the arm circles, getting the power arm ready to go.
Yeah, Stefan Leitinger joins the lineup, number 10, and Max Metz joins the lineup also. Two of the gold-winning medal side, not back in 2022, Northern Ireland won that, but in 2019, Austria beat Northern Ireland in the final in Newcastle, so yeah.
Huh. Oh, and off the rush, Austria does get there sooner, although that pitch back, flying out the back end of the court. But okay, right away, they find their shot. McAdams' ball missing to the middle. Lettinger just putting some pressure on. Johansson hit out.
But 4 balls now for Austria, and they will punish on that. They'll look at closing these sets out, and closing these sets out very, very quick. Yeah. Sarafic doesn't quite wrap his hands around that double ball attack, and McAdam is hit in the face with a ball also.
Never feels great, but he's fine.
It's something you get used to a lot more, and I think when you bridge that gap of, like, you're going to get hit in the face at some point.
Yep.
It just depends who throws it.
All right, Max Mate's kind of talking to his teammate about, I think, probably what how he maybe should have been covered while he was up a bit higher.
Yep, I would agree on that. Oh, and that is a crazy little backcourt sniper.
Yeah, that was a tremendous throw. I mean, I understand why he didn't even know if he was hit. He confirmed with the refs because, like, that was like a back foot cross-court shot. Beautiful. Okay, nice block as well.
Yeah, and a good catch from Hoffman. That brings in Max Metz.
He has returned.
It's a dodge that he's very famous for. You may have seen it. You may not have. A lot of the Europeans would have seen it time and time again. It's called the flying squirrel.
Okay, we get a catch, I think. Yep. It was a catch and a hit out.
And maybe as we get later on in the game, he might want to demonstrate it to the showcase.
I mean, this is still an entertainment event at some level. Austria squares up. And okay, they do get him.
Some good throw-in from Austria to finalise that set. Just making sure that they're delivering the powerful throws and they're nice on target.
Yeah, well done on their side. They do pull ahead, 11-9. Both teams setting up, but it is a Sweden throw. Austria electing not to counter, but to collect the balls and come to the line as 3. Letting go toward the right side.
Yeah, Pierre is hit out there, Korvelek. So Sweden already down 1, but they equal it up. The ball finds Jacob Leher and it hits Stefan Leitinger also in that same play.
All right, Austria setting up again with 4 this time. Good shot, finding the mark on Serovic.
Yeah, that one high, one low sort of throw. We have a call for that over in England. It's called aces, so one ball goes high, one goes low. It's to sort of force a player to block high or fish for that ball high.
Yeah.
The second one comes in low, and they've not got time to react to that.
Certainly one of the tactics in foam as well, just trying to make sure that their options are cut down, essentially.
Yeah.
All right, nice grab by Mates. He's on the ground. He still looked confident, though.
Yeah, it's that tombstone. Even though he hasn't slid back into that, he's in that set position. You should not be throwing at people in that position because they're so ready for it.
I know like in the foam game, we say if you're going to take that shot, like hit them in the feet. That's where you might have a good play. All right, Sweden having made a catch. Oh, Mates can't squeeze that one. Austria now to the line.
And that catch that Tellstrom did make earlier, I think Florian Leitinger is a little annoyed that he hasn't then put a hand on it, because I believe the ruling might come across in the way that it has to have a point of contact on your body, but also your hand. So when you're holding 2 balls, how is that possible?
Yeah.
2 balls collide in the air.
Yeah. They're still in it. Sweden still with 2. All right. Okay, Leder is called out. He disagrees, I think it's fair to say, with the call.
The camera might not be able to pick up that, but we certainly saw it here.
Yeah. All right, Grill heads off to the sideline. We got a 1-on-2. And I think time did elapse, so Hoffman not able to secure it. Instead, Sweden gets themselves another couple of points. All right, Austria does get there first. Lettinger lets it go. And okay, yeah. Nice nice active pace there. And oh, couldn't quite squeeze that ball.
And that's a great fake. It just puts the opposing player off making that move to secure the ball.
It's Sweden into the neutral area with the attack. Leitinger just drawing attention away, creating space. Lehrer defers that ball. I think the other one, yeah, it just took a while to be retrieved here. So Austria will come to the line. It's Mates who lets it go. Great shot onto Serovic.
Yeah, it takes him out there. Ball, it's too far spinning. It pops over him. He's not got quite the time to react onto that.
All right, they draw one in from Sweden. Johansson still out there. All right, he goes low, but he does get hit. Oh, no, he doesn't. All right, Austria's confirming that was not a tag. So good sports there.
It is very good.
All right, that shot skipping low before it could do any damage. Johansson stepping into that one.
You can see he's starting to get a little tired there with the throw. That lazy arm throw, we call it, nice and wide, not much power behind it.
All right, he's on defense. They drew the ball out of him, and yeah, some good movement there from Austria, just forcing him to drop his ball to look for the catch and then forcing him to make a dodge. Right, Austria setting up. And that one coming real close to us. Ooh, big shot from Leitenberg, hitting up high. To the line, they do miss high. Both of those, maybe a missed high-low attempt there, but what did you say that is typically called?
An aces. It's just the call that they call it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure every team has their sort of call for it.
Yeah, my team literally calls it high-low. We're not very inventive on that front. And all right, they do connect with one. Sweden to the line. Johansson letting that one go. Oh, Sarovic does get one. Just kind of, I don't know, the opponent sort of choked up a little bit there.
Not quite sure how that is called for a catch, but I think it rolls down his leg and then maybe it is flicked up.
Could be.
The refs are often watching the play. They're watching, you know, we've got 5 balls. They might be watching that play. We've turned our head for something else. We unfortunately can't catch everything.
As players or as broadcasters. Oh, wow, nice grab. Catching that one while still squared up after his release. Sweden still keeping this one real close. They're only down by 2. Okay, Johansson does get hit. Grill with a nice shot at close range. Bronner backing off. Right, those balls coming in from off court where they'd flown. Sweden needs to take a shot here. All right, they missed toward the feet. All right, there's a nice try, but well blocked again by Ronner.
Yeah, and now Sweden have given that 5 balls all towards Austria. And they'll look at punishing the Swedish side. And they do just that. That 3rd ball comes in on the delay.
Yep, the grazes still count, so. And that is the point. So Austria hanging on to that one. I think Sweden maybe forced it a little bit, trying to eliminate a player as time was winding down, but Austria able to use those extra balls to secure the point. Timeout is called for the Swedish side. Are you surprised it's still just a 4-point match?
Say that again, sorry.
Are you surprised that it's only a 4-point difference in this match?
Oh, I'm very surprised. Obviously, we didn't see that super strong lineup from Austria to start. Certainly a great squad that they put out, but as we know, it's not their strongest that we've seen.
Yeah, I do think it seems like they've come on a bit stronger in this second half. But, yeah, it has not been